Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for September 10th through the 16th, 2018. So let's take a moment to take a deep breath, to let go of everything that has occurred or that is on your mind, that is distracting you, just setting that all aside for just a moment to allow yourself to connect to the clarity of your soul. And they're indicating to release your grief, anything that is weighing heavily on your heart, and to offer this to God and the angels. If you could imagine and calling up your own spiritual tree and seeing it in front of you, the trunk of the tree, which is like a portal to higher consciousness. And if you could just open the window or the door to your own heart and embrace the tree and release into this infinite connection, this portal of light, everything that is in your heart, every prayer, every concern, every worry, every bit of anxiety, every bit of confusion and frustration, and grief, just release it all into your tree, into this portal of light and profound love. And just talk in your heart to the angels and God, knowing that everything that you are feeling, sensing, thinking about is being heard and understood and is being transported through this portal of light that represents your own portal to your higher connection and to the advanced knowledge and wisdom that lies above, within the branches of your higher self. And if you can even allow yourself to meld into the tree and become a part of this portal of light, allowing it to flow through you as information flows from the roots up, and likewise from the branches down, as above as below, and allowing this soft, gentle, clearing, illuminating, transfiguring experience to bring you into a place of center, balance, and wholeness as you feel yourself becoming one with the roots of that tree that goes so deep, 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 deep into the earth, and into the earth of your own spiritual light. And as you also feel yourself expanding up and expanding out wide as infinitely you can imagine, becoming reunited with the specific clarity, the love and wisdom that you've accumulated throughout all of your soul's journeys throughout the universe, Like the universe is like a huge university of ideas and possibilities. And at this time, as you may be feeling vulnerable, specifically in the ways that you are going through the ascension process and new information is being updated through your heart's main server, and you are being you're given access to answers and solutions and options, new perspective, approaches. And this brings with it a lot of challenges because it implements the seeds of change. And those seeds of change are not easily digestible to a human experience that is both divine yet also harboring an ego that keeps it so focused in the attachments, in acquiring things, to holding on to things and holding on to people. We want people to love us and to be there, to be consistent. And this is anything but what we are capable of doing. You have to allow yourself to recognize that there's nothing about the universe that does not change. And so the kind of consistency you're looking for is going to become more inconsistent to you as you are receiving a new program. You're working within a new program and of higher learning and wisdom that is enlightening, which means it's brightening and therefore clarifying and then bringing about new possibilities. And those possibilities are going to equal up to change. It's going to create inconsistencies in the way you experience your life and the situations, even though you may still be in situations that you have been in for a while, but your interaction within them is going to shift. And that is going to be the start of many inconsistencies about the way, so that as you're trying to, apply the same tactic or strategy, that's going to not necessarily be the way that it works. But it doesn't mean that you're not safe. It just means that there is a better way, and now you have to seek it out, which means you have to become flexible to the world that you're in and the situations that you're involved in. Because something is clicking within you, shifting within you, and you must keep up with that update. You must experiment and explore through the love of your heart. And they're showing me within your heart, they're showing me like a little flower that's heart-shaped, as if to say there's a new seed of love unfolding out of the love that already has been who you've been. And it is now causing you to, it's expanding and causing you to become something even more. That love is informing and giving birth. So the thing is that we don't want to become so afraid that we end up suppressing that seed of love. So don't suppress these impulses that are that you're receiving, and that is showing you ways to navigate through the circumstances that you've been stuck in. They're writing the word story, and that you've been living a story, or you felt that you've been stuck in a story that you can't seem to find the ending to. You would love to write an exit ending so that you could get out of the story, but you can't figure out how to get there. Every time you come up with an idea, something else just piles right on top of it, and it just seems like even more of an impossibility. But they're saying that they want you to have faith and to not give up. And what they would ask you to do is follow change. Follow that path. So the changes that are happening to you or happening through you, this is the path. So if you're looking for a way to change a story, follow the changes. Don't resist the inconsistencies. Don't resist the changes in agendas. Don't resist the challenges that others are seemingly bringing to you that you dislike. Don't just dislike something because it's not coming from anything that you do not understand. And a lot of our conflicts with others and our circumstances and our stories and the stories that we're spinning about them and the situations, because they're coming from our ego, the stories. That's why you feel trapped in them. And the reason that we resist it so much is because you're listening to the story of your ego, who is trying to give you this picture of how controversial these shifts and these new ideas are going to be, and how much they're going to upset your status quo. But in order for any story that you desire to shift, that is to say, the story you no longer want to possess or to be a part of, that you've got to follow that path of change. And those changes, you're going to have to start perceiving them as an opportunity. Those challenges, you're going to have to start to perceive them as an opportunity. They're writing that word ID, your identification is going to have to shift. So don't get attached to an identity. Your identity has evolved, even if you haven't noticed as it's happening, but it has. Who you are today is who you were not a long time ago. And yes, you may have a lot of core values and beliefs that you still are strung along through all of those changes, but you have evolved, and there is a flexibility to all of this. And when we're met with something that just really that we're not prepared for, a change we're not prepared for, we tend to really harden up. And then the pain comes from having to soften it up, you know? And if you could just be aware that it's not coming to accuse you or to judge you or to hold you accountable or to make you feel unaccountable or irresponsible, but it's coming to offer you an opportunity to change your story, only because your ego has you sort of surrounded so that you can't hear any other stories. So you're not used to hearing the enormous amount of ideas that are always really coming to you. There's a lot of insight, a lot of wisdom, inspiration that is constantly coming to you, but your ego has insulated you so that when some get through, because they are powerful, they really can't be stopped and they don't give up. But the ego can convince you to hold on to this story, but when some get through, you are deadly afraid of the idea. You immediately feel insecure, you don't feel safe, and you're not comfortable. And so then you start to make up more stories of your ego about what could go wrong if you embrace these ideas. And so this is something that they really want to help you to alleviate in hearing and understanding this, some of your immediate reactions to change or opportunities or challenges. So an obstacle falls on that path, and we panic and we kind of scatter. Our brains, our thoughts get scattered. But what they want you to do is to follow the change, because the changes are like a river. It's like a river moving downstream. And you want to keep moving with the river. You don't want to become a dam in the river of your own affluence and abundance, spiritual abundance. You don't want to become a dam in your own stream of abundance. So when you don't know what to do, when you're feeling a bit confused, follow your heart, follow the changes that are connected with your heart. Trust that you have the capacity, and this is the word I'm seeing, to embrace this change, to work with it, so just trust, have faith that you're stronger than you believe. Just have that much faith. And as you go along and you will become more familiar with this process of change and what it's revealing to you, what it's drawing you into, you'll begin to see that the story that your ego is creating, like, oh, this is going to be so difficult, you don't have this skill, you don't have this talent, or whatever it could be, you're not good looking enough, or whatever your thing is, as you go with the change and you trust it, and as you get in the experiment of what your soul has listened to you and heard and honored your prayers, and is taking you to something that maybe you weren't expecting, but it's something that you will grow immensely through and from. And so therefore, that is why it is profound that you trust. Because as you become you go through the experiment, you will see that it is not that story that your ego is spinning, that it is more suitable, that you're more suitable, that it is to this opportunity than you could have possibly imagined. So if you can't imagine, that's okay right now, but go with the changes that are flowing. All right, so let's take a look at the card from the Archangels, and this makes a lot of sense. This is Archangel Haniel, and she is associated with moon cycles, and this just makes a lot of sense right now in terms of what I was seeing is a sensitivity, emotional sensitivity, and it's the feeling about being sensitive is not a negative, but we got to also understand where that sensitivity is coming from. Is it coming from our ego? Because are we afraid? Do we panic? Does it stress us? Do we have anxiety? Versus a sensitivity that inspires us, that enlivens us, that really gets our creative juices flowing. There's a difference, and you want to channel. You can see she's has a harp in her hands, and so you want to be a channel of these higher gifts of your soul, whatever aspects of your creativity you are talented to express, that you feel safe and secure and you feel immensely powerful. This is where you want to be giving your attention to this aspect of your sensitivity. If the card says you are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now, honor yourself and your feelings. So when you feel things that aren't making you comfortable, again, if first of all, see if this is because of the changes that are coming up, that you're reacting to changes. And if you are, trust them and go with it. Just know that that sensitivity is a reaction from fears and doubts that you have within yourself and about the world. That you've entertained an idea as simple as, good things happen to other people. Other people have luck, not me. And so you will definitely feel a lot of fear because that opportunity won't be able to penetrate the story that you're insulated in, that your ego has created. Then there's the sensitivity of being aware of what is occurring in your environment, in your surroundings, wherever you are. And it's one of the reasons why it's very important to meditate before you leave your own sacred space, wherever that is, in your home or around your home. If you have a place where it's like an altar for you, like the tree meditation that we did at the beginning, you must have this. You must do this before you leave. Because once you get yourself centered and you're filled with the clarity of your own light, then whatever shifts happen as you're grounded in this is really information coming in your surroundings. Sometimes we take it personally, we think it's us, because you may not even realize that you're sensitive. Now most of you listening may be very aware that you have empathic tendencies, and that you are maybe have discovered sometimes you feel a pain in your body, and all of a sudden, your instinct is to look around and see who's having that pain or complaining about a pain in a specific area that you're feeling it. That's how it started for me. I don't have that. It doesn't overwhelm me like that anymore, but that's how it started. I thought it was me at first. I thought it was going to places and it would be this sadness in this place, but when I left, I felt sad. And it was hard to shake it off, especially when I was a child. So I didn't, until many years later, discovered what was really going on. And that's that one kind of sensitivity. And there's another level to that when you realize that sometimes comes with this sensitivity that there are those you're meant to help and there are those that you're not. There are those that, and you say, well, am I aware of it? Just send them a prayer. And if you're guided to be of service, you will know because you will feel the openness in their heart connected to yours. And you will feel as though, that is why when you're talking to someone, sometimes there are people you're afraid to say things to because you are sensitive enough, you're perceiving that they won't hear it no matter how well you explain it. And then there are people you feel so strong the words just rush, or whatever it is that you're guided to do, it's just flowing through, and you don't feel that like a barrier. So, and then the other sensitivity would be to your own spiritual guidance, your own spiritual insight that's lifting you and elevating you. And so you've got to learn the difference between them. And the insight one, you always follow. You always follow. You trust and you have faith. And the other, you have to discern. Whether when you're being empathic, you have to discern whether it is what your role is, whether it's just to be there, because sometimes you will activate them just by being in their presence without saying anything. And that's why you're aware of what's going on. A transference of some sort, you're activating them by just being in that light. So that's why if you get in your stream of light before you go out into the world, then you can be the highest vibration, but meaning, because everybody's equally vibrating at the highest frequency, but the person who has the awareness of their frequency, that high frequency, is the person with the most influence, because they are now accessing it with knowing, and that sets off others. It's very helpful. But then you will know that discernment, there's a portal open between us, and somehow a sharing or an exchange is being guided to happen. And then, the other is being aware that I'm being triggered by my ego, and to not allow your fears to prevent you from being open and having access to the answers that you seek. So you gently follow the path of changes in order that you may discover, and through your experimentation, exploration, the solution or answer that you have been seeking. All right, let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. And hold on, let me just make sure, just tune in Archangel Haniel, just to see if there are any other messages here. What she's just showing me is the letter T, which is my symbol for trust. But she made it like a table. And so that gives me a sense that what she's saying is sort of to let you know that the table has been prepared before you. And they're showing me almost like a baby, or so if there's been if someone is trying to give birth to a child, literally, or you're been working and trying very hard for this, or if there is something else that you're trying to launch, like a business, or you're seeking funds, this table has been prepared. So if you follow those changes, that stream of change is going to take you right to that table. But you've got to trust, okay, and not give up. All right, let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. And this is great because this just speaks to what we've been talking about. The page of fire brings the inspiration. It brings the inspiration of new opportunities. A little different from the page of earth, who may be bringing a tangible resource that you can now work with and begin to build. But here, the page of fire, wands, brings the inspiration, the idea, the golden opportunity, if you will, of innovation that can help you advance in your creative endeavor. So one sense is for this beginning of the week that this beginning of the week may start off with a really sort of creative burst. So, if you feel like you're on a roll all of a sudden, or you are a receptor of the ideas and solutions and the answers. So be open to your prayers coming through your insight, by the way of inspiration. And also that you may be this trigger for others, or there may be someone around you, because this could be a person, it could be you, that will trigger this within you. So be open to engaging others. This is definitely would be a great time for advocating, networking, leading to new opportunities. There's a word I was seeing, lessons, and also the possibility of learning a lesson. Learning is sort of like something is revealed to you within yourself. So like a breakthrough, the beginning of a breakthrough is how this would translate through the page, a lesson. Okay, the page of fire. All right, let me just tune in and see if there's any other messages. So really feeling connected, and I would advise you to really do this meditation this week with the tree that we did at the beginning. You just can replay the beginning if you want, or you can do it on your own. Also, something I learned last week, and I'm not sure if I'm going to remember it, but because you may have been experiencing a lot of things with the body. I did. A lot of people I knew were having all kinds of experiences with their body, and I know I told you to close, use gold light, but I keep feeling like I know what it is. I want to tell you this, and didn't know how I could get it to you, but exercise, okay, that will really help this transition that the physical body is going through. We were talking about that ascension work, and that our hardware is being upgraded. The exercise component will release immensely. I mean, it was really the only thing that helped alongside the gold light. Okay, and we got another card. Great. And also try to incorporate this often when you're leaving a place, or some kind of activity, just give yourself some more gold light, another gold shower. Okay, so we just have a lot of this burgundy reddish kind of energy here in this week, so it really just indicates a lot of energy. This card is about being in I love this card. I know it says stand up for your beliefs, like you may have to put up with some challenges, or people resisting you in some way, or seeking something from you, or trying to get something, trying to get you to do something, maybe trying to get you to do something that you may not want to do. But don't forget, no matter of any of those possibilities, and there are probably even more that I haven't thought of, that you are in the place of advantage, meaning you're the one you're up high, okay? And so from being in that up high position, you see the wands of the people who are probably trying to kind of influence him into doing something that he doesn't want to do, going against his own guidance. You can see he's going to the right. So he's flying high and he's inspired to do something, but you know how people come in and they poke little holes in what you're doing, and they try to influence because they have ideas about what and how things should go and the things that you're doing in your life and how you should be living it and all of that stuff. But the thing about it is, instead of being, and this is the guidance I really want you to hear, that I'm hearing right now, instead of being so caught up in what they're telling you that you aren't doing, why don't you look down? Because you can see above them and you can see miles around them, meaning you can see what they're stewing in and what's causing them to stew in this way. You have a compassionate view of what is really going on with them. And you can see that this has nothing to do with you. So don't engage them, because you already know what it is that you need to do. If for some reason one of them makes some sense to you, or it triggers something that inspires you or gives you another idea, they may be challenging you, but they may give you another idea, then bless that. But you don't have to feel like you are threatened, or your path or your purpose is threatened, or that you've been defeated, because you can see where this is coming from, and allow yourself to see where their actions, what's motivating their actions, and what's the agenda. And it's usually something of fear. They're not trying to harm you. They call themselves being practical or trying to prevent you from making the same mistakes that they've made, but it's not personal. Okay? All right, so let's take a look, because this is like you're following, you got this new idea, and so here's another thing too. You may want to keep it to yourself or tell it to the people. So here's where that sensitivity comes in, when discernment. Tell it to the people who you sense that open transaction. Don't tell it to people that you can sense. Before you tell it to them, you will feel the pinch of the energy. You feel like the energy's pinched off. So don't tell them. And you won't have to deal with so much of that in this way, the way it looks, the card looks. Okay, so the end of the week, at the star card. So this idea is leading to a very successful plan, a future plan. Okay, this card says happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path. Okay, so this is showing that the universe, as the angel Jophiel here, who is associated with the crown chakra as well, that the universe is pouring support and to help things grow. So you can see this one, something grows out of this. So this is, the universe is behind this. This card for me makes me feel like it's the star, I don't know, it has something to do with your soul, like your higher soul, a purpose that is going to bring blessings not only to you, but to others. And I think that's our universal purpose, is not only ourselves, but others. And so that this is going to be successful. So this idea that comes to you, don't let anybody else or anything else sort of distract you or distort that, or to tear it apart. Okay, so be discerning. You are sensitive. You have great instincts. So trust them, and don't share them with everybody. All right, we have a lot of the wands here. So this definitely has to do with a passion, creativity, career, life purpose. This is going to be a huge week, but you need to be the guardian of this by protecting. You don't have to protect it, but you just need to be aware of what you are picking up and trusting that. All right, so this card would say, this is I pulled from the bottom, and this is indicating, which is really good, especially with this card, that this is going to create. This card could be talking about an event, celebrating an event of celebration. So it's possible that there is an event that sets the stage for all of this to happen for you. It's also possible that this is telling you that, as the card on the bottom, that you're creating that this idea, that this innovative idea, these shifts, whatever they are creating a very secure foundation for your future to be built upon, where dreams are fulfilled. Everyone who will be in your life, who should be in your life, will be in your life, and will be pleased and satisfied and supportive. This does not mean that people who are in your life now are going to be a part of this foundation, or certain circumstances, or your job or whatever. Things will change, but the thing is that what will come will be just as good, if not even better. And this card says contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, a successful completion of a project, so that this will go infinitely well, and you will be more than content, and you'll feel like you've come into your own. Here you see this dragon emerging through this portal, and it's like you're going to sort of emerge or reemerge into this new chapter of your life. So this is indicating, just by looking at this card, talking about stories, that this idea is going to lead to a new story, but one based in truth of the soul. Okay? So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and thank you for joining us this week. If you're looking for an angel reading, you can contact me at theangelschool.com, which you can find on the services page there. For some of you who would like to work through something for like a longer period, there's the Divine Roadmap angel sessions that are 10 weeks that you can work on any particular thing that you want to. So just to keep that in mind. Also, if you haven't joined us for the daily card messages, I really would. I've been really gaining so much from them. So if you haven't been there yet, look below, because you can find this video. There's a link for my website, theangelschool.com. There's a link for Twitter and a link for my Facebook page. You can also get both through Twitter as well. So check it out if you haven't already. So have a beautiful week. Thank you for all of your likes, the new subscribers. We have 8,000 subscribers now, and we're almost at 4,000 people who read or have liked the daily card messages on my Facebook page. So thank you for all of your support and all of the love that you send through your thoughtful and warm-hearted comments. So have a beautiful week, and God bless you all.